All right, guys, full disclosure, before we go into this video, it is going to be long, but I got triggered because of a local shop that has been selling the service of curving distributors. You guys can do that at home, and it's really basic. What I'm going to show you guys is the basics, where I'm getting my info from, which is a really good book, and how I applied it, how some companies can tell you that their curve kit is going to work with their distributor and be on the money, and I'm also going to explain why there's pitfalls to actually having it curved, and you think that you're going to drop it and it's going to be perfect, because it's not. So just follow through. And also for the guys that have been asking me about my engine combination, there is videos on it, and I'm actually going to go through the trouble of putting those links on there. If I do have the video of me explaining how I factored in the mechanical curve rate on the distributor, I will put it in there. If not, let me know if you guys want the updated version, and I can actually probably make a way better video, as I think I did that quite a while ago. But again, I found a killer book on ignition systems, and it's actually come in handy because I don't have to send out a distributor to curve it out. I know what to do. Just a little bit of math involved, and that's it. So I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Go check out Twin J Racing, and we'll let you guys go. But watch. It's a good topic. Hopefully you guys like it, and I'll drop the links at the bottom of the description. All right, ladies and germs, I got a video today because we have a local machine shop, and they have a distributor machine, and when you get a distributor curved, it's great, but it's not 100%. And I'll explain to you guys exactly why, and I'll show you guys how you can get this really, really close. I mean, really close on the bench. So the distributor machine, what it does is it spins the distributor. You get to figure out your mechanical advance, your vacuum advance, and all that stuff. But what the machine really can't do, it can't replicate the actual load on the engine, which the load on the engine will change how fast it picks up RPM. Now, why does that matter? Well, the load on the engine will affect your centrifugal mechanical advance, which, as you know, those counterweights in there, they are based off of engine speed. So they will open up and do their thing as engine speed picks up. So let's say you have it on an engine on a stand and you look at your timing curve and it looks great, or on a distributor machine and it looks great, whatever. That's going to change with a load behind the engine. I can tell you for a fact, I've gone through this a couple of times, and usually I have to set up the curve to where I like it. But really, for most, like GM HEIs, which I have here, it's really, really basic. Now I'm going to show you why I like products like the MSD are engineered pretty good, and they can sell you a curve kit that's going to be almost on the money every time you put it in because of the way it's engineered. So, and again, I am not a professional. This is just my way, the way I interpret it, and what has worked for me. So here we have a locked out HEI. So this one, let's see if I can pull the shaft out. This one's actually locked out, but underneath you can see we have no, well, okay, let me get it off the splines. So this is the reluctor wheel, and as everything moves in here, this reluctor changes in position in relation to the magnetic pickup. You can see there's block-off plates in there. I'll see if I can take this apart. No, it's got the C-clips in there. So you can see the little block-off plates. Now, we made the mistake of once running the locked-out distributor, and it screws with the dwell timing. So what happens there is, so essentially what happened there was the idle timing was great, but as soon as it picked up any momentum, it actually would retard the timing from 36 total to like 25. And I guess that's why you really need to run an ignition box with locked out timing on an HEI. I did a little bit of reading, and I think it's almost near impossible to run locked out timing with no ignition box, unless I think you factor in the timing retard with RPM, which means that you would, let's say we went from 36 to 25, that's 11 degrees. Your initial timing would have to be 41 degrees. And again, that timing actually goes away fairly fast. So I don't, I know that, but that's a lot of initial timing just for idle. But again, we debunked that at the track. We ran an HEI locked out, and then I had some weights, some springs. We put it in, and poof, the car picked up. The timing was doing its thing, and I've always ran a timing curve on all my engines. I'm not a believer in locked out timing. And I'll explain to you guys why in a minute. But here we have the trusty old reliable. This is a stock GM, HEI. This is one of the backup units that's in my toolbox. Usually, these things have anywhere between 22 and 24 degrees of mechanical advance. You see we got the vacuum advance locked out, so it's not moving around in there, changing anything. And again, these things pretty much, for me, it's foolproof. A lot of guys say that heat killed them, but I think that is a absolute load of bullshit, because we have ran these in super extreme conditions, racing hot with no issues. I have driven my car with an HEI on like a 96-degree day with absolutely no issues. And I'm talking, 100 plus, mile trips. I know it may have been a thing in the 80s. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. I've read all the stories, but I've been running HEIs pretty much almost exclusively since I started in the hobby back in 2016. Anything I put together would get an HEI because it was just simple, nice, and easy to run. Now here is where the cool stuff comes in. So I got a Pro Billet distributor, which by the way is for sale. Typical MSD, it's a little crusty, needs to get cleaned up. These things pick up corrosion fairly fast. I don't know why it's a thing with the MSD distributors, but it's a working distributor. It does have a timing curve in it. Brand new cap, brand new rotor. But when you buy an MSD, I got a curve kit here. So let me just open this up here. You can see my Mondello book there. We got all kinds of goodies here. Carter carburetors, Resto guides, Holly carb books, really good technical references. As somebody in the hobby, you really cannot have enough info at the tip of your fingers. Do not rely on the internet. I don't care how good of friends you are with somebody. Don't rely just on their experience, because your experience will be totally different. And that's usually how it goes, right? So, MSD gives you this chart, right? Slowest, fastest, really basic. The slowest is going to be heavy silver, light blue, heavy silver, light silver, 2 light blue for like a medium in between there, kind of a fast. You got a slow medium, fast medium, 1 light silver, 1 light blue, 2 light silver. What I actually have is 1 heavy spring, 1 light spring, and the medium springs. So I kind of made my own curve with this one. And the reason for that is I'm running a advance on it, but it's not much. My idle's about 22, and then we have about a 12-degree rate of advance. So why that comes into play is especially like idling around the pits. So if you're at a dead stop, you get a little bit more extra timing, so it keeps the bottom end clean or down low in the RPM. And then usually by the time, like I usually launch at around 2200 RPM, I give myself about 2300 RPM of room for flashing the converter. By that point, all of my timing is in. So it pretty much acts like the locked out timing by the time we launch. It just works. But I still drive it around town. There's situations where I'm really light throttle and the engine isn't seeing a lot of speed. You run into a high load situation where maybe you're up a slight grade or something. You're going to be less likely to detonate. And we are running like 10.5 over, like I think it's right now it's like 10.6 to 1 compression. On on pump gas. So that curve is very critical. I've not run into any detonation issues. And the last time we took the engine apart, the bearings were absolutely mint. So we are running 10.6 to 1 compression ratio. And on this side, you got a bunch of curve graphs for the RPM and the timing in degrees. They're very helpful. But MSD can give you this, and it's pretty damn accurate for the basic simple reason that their bases across the board are all the same diameter. Now, why does that matter? Well, I'm going to show you guys here. So we got this, right? And this is a great book. It's really hard to find, kind of a rare book. If you guys are interested, there you go. But I actually found this at the local half-price books. And I bought it, and actually this is probably the best part of this book, but there's a lot of really good info in here as far as like combustion chamber, design, indexing plugs, stuff like that. So it goes into more than just ignition systems. It goes into theory of operation as well with engine stuff and what affects your ignition overall. So here you got the reference of measuring the body of the distributor, right? And then, so once the distributor is based on 360 degrees. So you got to figure out, like right here, how many degrees that is in relation to the overall diameter. And here you got kind of a little diagram explaining that. So right here, you got like a mechanical advance. And here you got like with a vacuum advance, what it would be. So, A being your static, and then you hold the distributor, you move it over, and there's an equation based off of your overall diameter. You take that measurement, and then you take your measurement here with dial calipers. So let's say like here they got it scribed off, right? And then you subtract that from your overall diameter, and then you factor in how many degrees of mechanical advance you have. Now, it is a little bit more intricate than that. I have done a video on the past, just maybe not as in-depth. It was kind of really basic. So, and I can get into this more if you guys want. But in short, this is why MSD can pretty much come up with a generic curve kit, right? And this, I got it bagged up with the instructions here. This is why they can come up with that type of curve kit that's going to be fairly accurate, because I think all their distributor bodies are pretty much a standard size. So, you can get this MSD cap and it'll work on a Chevy distributor, Ford distributor, whatever their product design is going to be, that's going to work for it. But this is, you can apply this to the GM HEI, which I've done in the past. And some of these may actually have some marks on them. Let's see here. I have to look because I've done a bunch of these. But essentially, you have to take your overall diameter, put it on paper. So let's say that distributor, I think the Chevy or the GM HEI is about 5.5 inches. And then, based off of 360 degrees, you factor all that in. You take your dial caliper measurement from point to point. You transfer that, and then you subtract it, and then you figure out what that measurement of movement translates to in 2 degrees. That's it. That's the best way I can put it without getting into any of this info, which, again, I have not done this in a while, so I would have to refresh my memory on it. But the whole purpose of this is I've been seeing this shop just showing off this distributor machine, and it's like, in my mind, it's like, well, you offer this service, but somebody's going to put that distributor in their car, and there might be issues. There's only been one person that I've dealt with that gave me an extra set of springs, and he told me it might vary in your car. So you probably are going to have to change the springs. And it did, because I got a street car and the weight differs. So there was 2 medium springs on there and it was kind of slouchy. It actually wanted a little bit more timing earlier. So, and that's also based off of the fuel delivery. So, I put in a light spring and it got better. And I'm like, well, let's put another light spring and see what it does. So I ended up from 2 medium springs to 2 light springs. The overall timing total didn't really get affected. Now, the only thing that happens with that is you got to be careful, because depending on the weight, how much the mechanical advanced weights weigh, you might start bringing in that timing at idle. So you got to be careful with that. You want to check your timing with heavy springs. Make a note of it. Change your springs. See what happens, because I've ran into that and I learned that the hard way, where I had timing that was coming in at idle and I was having kind of some issues between that and the carburetor. And then I figured it out that, like, all right, I need something that is going to bring the timing back just enough at idle, and then it snaps up as soon as the engine starts to move, which is how this is pretty much set. So, you know, again, borderline locked out, but I still have an advance in it. I'm going to live and die by that because I've done it. I've ran it with it locked out. I ran it with the advance. I like the advance, especially around the pits. Our track has a bunch of hills on it, so whatever. I'm just being cautious about it is all. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it was kind of a little bit of a trigger point because I've dealt with this a lot, but there's no need for you to send out your distributor to get curved by a shop or somebody who offers a service, and you're going to pay like $250 because, you figure most modern shops, if they're specialty, they're going to charge you $175 plus for labor, right? And they're going to go in there, do that, clean it up, sell you a bunch of products and stuff. You can do this. I think the only company out there that had a really well-engineered curve kit for the GM HEI distributors was Crane Cams. And I had one of those back in the day. I'm talking like 15, 16 years ago. And it worked really, really well. Almost verbatim what was on the directions. It worked as such. So this is just more of a point of explaining why you kind of get scared into getting talked into getting this service and buying it. But really, you can do this on a benchtop. There is no real science to it. It is just basic math and geometry. And you can get it really, really close. And then you can fine tune it as you drive. And most of the time, it's worked for me, so I'm only sharing with you guys what has worked for me. I have had distributors curved, but as mentioned, I had to go back in there and change the springs, and that was also explained to me. So I think a lot of these shops are selling you services, knowing that even after they do it, you're still going to have to go in there and mess with it. So why even get the service when you can do it yourself? Now, if you guys want me to go further in depth and explain this, I do believe I have a video out there, but I can make a new one. So on that note, this video has been way long. I'll let you guys go.